Where the Treetop Glistens, Part 2. So it was the following day. Ellen Opengate, Old Joe, Artie Odometer, Bill Leftfoot, and Pete Gone Missing converged on the cafe, each with their own brand of larceny filling their minds. Artie Odometer recognized Ellen Opengate and plopped down in her booth across from her. "How are you doing, sister?" She stared at him without saying anything. "I was thinking," he continued, as if he knew her for a long time. "Why would things for a scavenger hunt require being put in a safe? My initial thought, when I saw them in the trees, was that they held money. And look at us. We just handed them over like a pair of monkeys." She didn't laugh at this remark, but felt like doing so. "So I say we confront the old guy, push a few buttons, get him to show us those bags, and satisfy our curiosity. After all, we discovered them hanging in that tree." "I don't think you discovered anything," was the reply. "Have it your way. All I'm thinking is, I make one call to the cops saying I saw you take down 2 hanging bags, and maybe it registers with them, or maybe it doesn't. Let's say it does. They'll know if they contain money or not. I'm guessing it's missing money they have been looking for. We both know people don't stash money in trees without a good reason, and the best and only reason is because it's stolen money, temporarily hidden until it could be recovered. And you knew exactly where to go, remember? I took you there. I could just turn you in if I wanted."
"Well, if that's the way you feel, why don't you just go over there and ask to see the bags for yourself? Don't look at me. I don't have them."
She almost pulled it off, this deflection, but something stopped her. It was the arrival of Bill Leftfoot and Pete Gone Missing. She slumped a little lower in the booth. "What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?"
"Keep your voice down."
"Keep my voice down? Listen, I'm going to do as you suggested. I'm going to ask him to show me those bags."
"Cool your jets. We got company."
"So? I can't sit here all day." He quickly glanced at the 2 strangers. "I don't know them. Besides, I'm not talking to them. I'm just going to approach the owner and ask him to show me the bags. No big deal." Artie approached Joe at the counter and says, "Hello, remember me? I came in here with that girl over there, with 2 bags from the scavenger hunt, and was wondering if I could see them."
"You came in with Ellen. Yes, I remember. You want to see the bags? Okay, they're in the safe."
Old Joe twists the safe dial to the left and back to the right, and the left again. The small door opens.
"There you are. See?"
"Can you bring them over here? I'd like to see them up close." This conversation goes unnoticed by Bill Leftfoot and Pete Gone Missing. That is, until Old Joe pulls out the bags and puts them on the counter. Bill, opening his eyes wide, signals Pete to look towards the counter.
"Hey, those are our bags,"
shouts Pete, in spite of himself.
"Yeah,"
added Bill.
"We lost them and thought we'd never see them again. That's our property. I don't know how you managed to find them, but we'll take it from here."
Old Joe, looking the situation over, pushes the bags in their direction and said, "They're all yours." For a brief instant, Old Joe, Bill Leftfoot, and Pete Gone Missing are happy. Artie Odometer and Ellen Opengate not so much. When the bags are revealed to be stuffed with newspaper, things begin to get complicated. Artie Odometer is indifferent, as he is uncertain whether the money ever existed. But perhaps it was just a practical joke after all, he thought. Ellen Opengate knows where half the money is, but left wondering where the other half might be. Bill Leftfoot and Pete Gone Missing know the money is missing, and are wondering who has it. Old Joe is thinking of the money in the lower drawer. It was at this point Bill recognized Ellen.
"You're the person who overheard us the last time we were here and left just before us."
He directed his remarks towards her.
"We want our money back. Where is it?" "I don't know. We brought the bags back here to open them up, but we never had a chance because Old Joe told us of the scavenger hunt and took them."
"Scavenger hunt? What are you talking about?" Artie Odometer, clued in about the missing money, assessed the situation like a seasoned detective. "Nobody's going anywhere until we figure this out." "Get a load of this guy. Nobody's going nowhere, huh? Well, you're right about that. Me and Bill We're the injured party here. It's our money. We took all the risk, and someone better start talking, and I mean now.
I'm kinda guessing Bill's the brains of this outfit. It was old Joe speaking. Before you admit to stealing money in front of a bunch of strangers, you should have stopped to ask yourself if anyone here knows who you are. Well, I know you. Both of you have been coming here for years.
It was Bill's turn now. All right, I am the brains. I worked the whole thing out, every detail. I know one thing, and of this I am certain. There was close to $20,000 in those bags hours ago, and now there's only newspaper. Somewhere between the tree and here, the money disappeared. Artie Odometer spoke up. Let's clear up one thing from the top. If the money reappears, who gets it? I can't even believe you're asking that question. It belongs to Pete and me, and nobody else.
Ellen Opengate spoke up. Seems to me you don't deserve the money. You left it hanging from a lower tree branch. You lost it because of that stupid decision. I think the money, if it exists, belongs to the rest of us to split up evenly. You two are out.
Artie Odometer clicked in. Let's put the blame where it belongs. You two messed up big time. Own it. Now you wait. Think for 1 second. Without us, there wouldn't be any money in the first place. That matters little, as there isn't any money now. Listen, you people get nothing. And I mean nothing. You hear me? We risked our necks for it, and it belongs to us or else.
Or else what? It was old Joe talking now. Any rough stuff, and you can bet I'll call the cops right soon. I won't put up with any trouble here. Just give me one reason, and I'll use it. Let's be fair. Maybe you do deserve a share. We never did hear how you pulled it off, this great caper of yours.
We saw them fall off the back bumper of a Brinks truck. We waited until it turned the corner, and Bill came up with the idea to put them in the tree and get them later, when things cooled down. Ellen Opengate surveyed the small group. She got a measure of their combined strength and weaknesses. Artie Odometer had transport. Even better, he drove a cab. Old Joe owned a long-established community institution. Who would ever suspect his diner of being a front? Bill and Pete seemed like men of the trench, good food workers who just needed a bit of direction. Then there was herself, a seasoned bank robber, but more giving to planning and execution of successful ventures than failed attempts. She addressed them in a few words, which left them staring back at her in silence.
Ever think of knocking off a bank? As long as we're here discussing stolen money, or to put it more accurately, lost money, I mean you just picked them off the road. No planning needed. Any kid could have done that. You come up with a better plan than hanging them in a tree, and maybe we'll listen to you. The trouble here is none of us are criminals. We're just ordinary citizens who got entangled in a mess. That doesn't mean we wouldn't take advantage of a situation if one came along. That's why we find ourselves here today. Follow the money. It's the only way. Let's follow the trail and see where it leads. Assuming the money remained in the tree, and someone unknown to all of us didn't just empty them and refill them with paper before hanging them there in the tree again. If that's the case, we're at a dead end. But if that didn't happen, you two admit, he pointed to Artie and Ellen, you admit you got the bags and put them in the cab.
Artie protested. I didn't do anything. She grabbed the bags, got into the back of the cab with them. I just knew there was something up. Since I was a driver, I thought I deserved a share.
He said he wanted half. He wanted one of the 2 bags. Doesn't really matter about your squabbling. The money, as far as we're concerned, is in the cab, and then you drive back here.
That's right. We came back here to open the bags and see what was inside. But before we could do anything, old Joe here stuck his nose in and said those bags were a part of a scavenger hunt, and he took and placed them in a safe. Later I became suspicious. I thought, why would items for a scavenger hunt need to be placed in a vault? So I came here, saw Ellen, who apparently had the same idea, and confronted old Joe. That's when we came in, just about that time, and saw our 2 missing bags on the counter. Where does that leave us? The money, if it existed, was in the cab. Okay, that's established. The money exits the cab and enters the diner. The money goes into the safe. The safe is later opened to reveal newspaper stuffed inside. Have I got it right? There was a general agreement. So the money might have been exchanged for newspaper in the cab or in the diner, or could still be here. Great deduction, Sherlock, except for one thing. If we did take the money, why would we have come back here with bags filled with newspaper? Okay, let's go with that. Maybe you two emptied the sacks and filled them with paper before old Joe interfered, in which case you two might still be in possession of the loot. It could be anywhere from in the booth where you were sitting at the time to being stored at either of your places. But then, if that's the case, why would we come back here at all? Of course, old Joe could have emptied the bags of money any time after closing and refilled them with paper. The trouble with us is we're not looking at the problem with a criminal mind.
Why don't you check the date on the newspaper to find out when it might have been placed there?
The voice belonged to someone new, Dolores Honeyglaze. She had come in unnoticed, waiting to be served at the counter, but with everyone being tied up in conversation, she had simply listened. This advice wasn't welcomed by anyone, especially old Joe, who wondered exactly which date would appear. Let's find out. The safe, when it opened, revealed nothing. It's been picked clean, moaned old Joe as he looked inside with both disbelief and relief.
Some beggars robbed me.
He searched the faces around him in the diner as if looking for a clue. There were none to be found.
I can't even report this break-in to the police, can I?
Everyone was in agreement. After Dolores Honeyglazed paid for her coffee, she dropped off her business card, Honeyglazed and Boyle's Detective Agency, and left. Old Joe turned towards Ellen.
What did you say about knocking off a bank earlier?
End of part 2 of Where the Treetop Glistens.